Welcome back, everybody, back with the video. Today we're going to update our how to beat every single arena defense video because the meta has shifted quite a bit from the last time I made this video. I made it about 3 weeks ago. If you are interested in terms of any Harsetti defenses, I would recommend checking that video out. There's no Harsetti defenses in this video because, again, I am Legend. I don't really see that many Harsetti defenses. If I do, it's the same old ones that existed before. So there's really not that much to change, right? If anything, the only Harsetti defense that I do see is like Harsetti, Genesis Ras, Setsuka, and Lady of the Scales, which you can just line heart, no problem. So just keep that in mind, right? But again, if you are interested in terms of how to beat Harsetti defenses, go check out the other video. I'll put the link down below in the description. So let's get into it. Now, these teams you're going to be seeing on the screen are going to be the best teams to beat said defenses. Keep that in mind. If you don't know, I go for top 3 frames, right? I'm in a Legend. So I need consistency. Therefore, the comps I do recommend are pretty much 100%, if not very, very close, right? And the only way to really lose is typically speed RNG. And if you're always going to slow comp, well then guess what? You can never really lose. So just keep that in mind, right? That's very, very important. Now again, if your team is not on the list, completely understandable, right? I don't really experiment that much because once I do find out a perfect team, I'm using it, and I'll keep using it until it does break. So again, there may be other options to beat said defenses. If you do have some in mind, let me know down below, right? Help each other out, because again, good place to learn some arena. Let's get into it, right? So, this team is very, very common. Oh, also PSA, these are all common defenses currently right now in the meta. The end of the season is today, basically, right? And we're going to a brand new arena season. The meta is not going to be changing anytime soon unless the next RGB is literally Setsuka level. We're going to find out soon, potentially. But in terms of MO5s, nothing's going to be coming out for the next 4 weeks. Or actually, next 3 weeks, right? So, therefore, the meta will be the same 3 weeks from now unless the MO5 is beyond broken, and then it should shift again. But that's what we love about E7. Meta shifts. So, let's get into it now. This team is going to be Renox, Setsuka, Tenebria, and Lady of the Scales. Recently, I uploaded a Luna Cleave, which is very, very good into this. But if they have Sass, be extremely careful. It's kind of, you can pretty much lose right off the bat with it because obviously Sass on Renox is troublesome. Now, I've had the glorious opportunity to play with a zooming fast Luna, and therefore, hey, I figured out a way to beat it 100%, but this is for only people. This is like for that 0.00001% people in the game who has a 324 Luna without an imprint. Disgusting. Disgusting, right? You can try this at 318, but just be careful, right? Just be careful because the Sass Renox are very, very easy to make very, very fast. So therefore, if you have 324 Luna, if you have a 324 Luna, you can pretty much use this team and you will never lose, right? Now, obviously, if you're under 324, this can lose to Sass. Otherwise, these are going to be the 2 slow comps I do recommend, but keep in mind, it's always going to be RNG because of Tenebria. Tenebria is very, very disgusting of a character. If she lands everything, it is pretty much Jover, right? That's just how it is when it comes to this character because of block debuff being OP as it is. So just keep that in mind. Lionheart sub-cleanse. Ilinov's S3 to cleanse. FCC can technically cleanse because she can throw back the debuffs. Rowena, probably the only one that can't really cleanse, but that's where you do want to run like a cleanse artifact on her. So just keep that in mind, right? But overall, these are going to be the best offense teams to beat this defense. Next, it is going to be the Lady of Scales, Tenebria, Setsuka, and Genesis Ras. Now, in terms of beat this, I really love the Fast Briar and Selene comp. I still use this a lot still to this day. It's very, very good. Very hard to lose with this situation because, again, Selene has Revive. Your Braceria is going to die because of Genesis Ras as 2 and as 3, right? So Selene can just basically one-shot the Lady of the Scales and Tenebria right off the bat. And then after that does happen, you can go ahead and S1 without attack buff if you really want to on Setsuka. Probably won't kill, but just keep in mind, if you do that, you can get at 20% and she can counter you and with her artifact on, and then you just die to that, right? So I don't really recommend that. If you do use Selene comps, kill Lady of Scales, kill Tenebria, make sure Ras's immortality is procced, right? And then go ahead and S3. Best case scenario, right? Literally, you cannot lose from that. Now, the second team. Now, this is only if you have a 300 mid. If you do not have a 300 mid, I do not really recommend this, right? So you really need a 300 mid plus. This will be a damage Braceria, Frida, and Genesis Ras. Very, very good comp. Again, basically you kill Genesis Wrath with Brysaria since it is a full damage Brysaria. So once you are proccing the immortality, she strips the immortality, and he just dies to the extra damage because of Brysaria's skills. She does have additional damage after she does use a skill. And then the next team is going to be the slow team, which is going to be Lionheart, Ilanov, FCC, and Rowana. Broken. Again, Lionheart is currently inside the custom Mystic Banner. If you want to go get her, full power to you. She is very, very broken, right? So, next, I forgot to include this in the video, so I'm going to be adding it somewhere. But, Frieren, Lady of the Scales, Genesis Wrath, Tenebria, Hua-Young. You're going to see one of these 4 combinations together. And to beat this, again, if you had the speed gear, Luna, Selene Cleave, very, very good. Otherwise, Yoha, Bystander, Hua-Young, Genesis Wrath, and Lady of the Scales, in my opinion, is still very, very good into this comp as well. Just keep that in mind, right? I do see this a lot. It is popping up, but most of the time I literally just Selene this because there's really not much threat there once you kill the Frieren and Genesis Wrath. Actually, once you just kill Frieren, it's basically over at that point, right? But other than that, though, hope you enjoy the rest of the teams. It is going to be Lady of Scales, Frieren, Setsuka, and Tenebria. Now, I think this is the only Frieren defense I have in the video because there's not that many Frierens, and if you do see her, it's mainly with this. Otherwise, if it's not with her, you can still just Luna, right? Again, these are just the popular defenses I do see currently right now in Legend. So, obviously, same thing. Selene fast comp, very, very hard to lose. Now, again, it does involve you having a very, very fast Luna. But if you don't have a fast Luna, you can go ahead and use the Luna, Hua-Young, and 2 imprints. At this point, you're like, so let's say you're 300, right? Let's say you're 300 Luna. You have a plus 12 and a plus 10, you're 322. Let's say you're 290, right? Plus 22, you're still at a good speed after that. So, just keep in mind, right? Tenebria is very, very slow. Very rare are you ever going to run into like a 310 Tenebria. So just keep that in mind, right? You don't need that fast of a Luna. You can probably get away with a 290. I highly recommend that, but it does matter on your Hua-Young speed as well. She needs to be very, very giga fast here. Maybe like 12 speed apart from the Luna, 13 speed apart if you want to be more safer. So just keep that in mind. It is very, very important as well, because if Hua-Young does not cut, you can pretty much just lose off of that. Otherwise, this is going to be the best turn 2 comp versus this defense. It's very, very good as well. Again, Hua-Young and Genesis Wrath are immune to the debuffs. And we have Yoha here, which cleanses herself. And on top of that, the Frieren is literally just going to kill herself because of Yoha's passive, right? And Yoha does ignore the offering damage share, right? So very, very good. And she can reset off a kill, and you just do whatever you want to do, depending on which EE you are currently running on your Yoha. Next, it is going to be the Lady of the Scales, Hua-Young, Setsuka, and Genesis Wrath. Again, a mid. Very, very good into this. Again, you really don't need that fast of a mid. I have all the videos covering every single defense right now currently in Legend. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. But in terms of speed gear, it really isn't that much. Like 250 a mid, I don't want to see any comments. People saying they can't do a 250 a mid. I don't want to hear it, bro. Because there's no way you can't do that. Unless you're a brand new spanking account, then it's different. But like otherwise, I think it's pretty easy to do a 250 a mid, right? Again, damage Brysaria, Genesis Wrath, gonna basically clear the entire team. Otherwise, go ahead and use Boss Runka, Lionheart, Ilanov, and Rowana. And then lastly, it is going to be the Re-Knock Lady of Scales, Bystander, Hua-Young, Setsuka. Sometimes in this position, there is also a Genesis Wrath there. It depends if flip-flops between these defenses I do see. Could be Lady of Scales, Genesis Wrath, Setsuka. Again, same situation. Any of these 5 together, 4, not technically 4, but you know what I mean. Same situation. You could just go ahead and admit this without any worries. Any worries whatsoever. But make sure to have immunity on Bright Witch's area for both of these teams, right? For this one, in general, I just really recommend immunity on Bright Witch's area. But again, I have everything covering it if you want to go into more detail. But otherwise, you can go ahead and use Boss Runka, Lionheart, LHC, Boss Runka, LHC, Ilanov, FCC, or Rowana. It really just depends on what you have. It all perfectly works perfectly fine. But again, I do think even the this Yoha Genesis Wrath comp, I'm pretty sure this works as well into this defense. But I don't really remember. I haven't tested that out in a while versus this defense. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Other than that though, thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good day, and peace out.